Bless up, bless up, bless all the way up. It's your boy, Change Agent Cooper. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe to this channel, and click the bell for notifications so you can be alerted when this content is coming out. I got a lot to say, and I'm going to say it. I got a lot of experience, strength, and hope, and I'm going to share it. For me not to, well, that would be blasphemy. And let me take a bite of this yogurt. Fun fact. I am sitting in the parking lot of a prison where I did time at, and I am eating my daughter's yogurt that she left in the car, that I forgot. Let me stop. Look at me, about to blame her. The yogurt I forgot to send with my daughter. I'm eating her yogurt because I didn't want to just let it sit here and go bad. But I'm sitting in the parking lot of a prison that I did time at. Good God Almighty, eating my daughter's yogurt. Proud parent. But anyway, let's get to it. So this morning I was on my way down here to an anonymous prison. I'm gonna try to keep things as anonymous as possible so it doesn't, so I don't have to throw anybody under the bus. But so I'm on my way down here to speak, and so I get a text message, a long text message. So I go ahead and call the person. Say, what's going on? And so they're telling me about a person. So this person is, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep the details as vague as possible. So the person is older than 50 years old, and the person is older than 50 years old. The person is a frequent flyer in the prison system, in the jail system, frequent flyer in the rural area he's in. But so he was in the jail, and he was letting the staff know that he wasn't feeling good. They thought he was attention seeking. He's a frequent flyer, and sometimes this happens with frequent flyers, to where like staff and people just don't take them serious anymore. And so anyway, whenever they let him out of jail, he ended up right back into the emergency room. So when he goes into the emergency room, he finds out that he has kidney failure. And so when he finds out he has kidney failure, so he's unhoused, he doesn't have anywhere to go, he has kidney failure, he's going to have to go on dialysis. And so the only support that he has is in a neighboring state, is in Tennessee, right? So the person that called me was in Tennessee trying to advocate for him in this rural area. And so the person asking me questions like, can I get him in a halfway house? Need to get him to Asheville because Asheville has the resources. Asking about, who can he get transported to and from meetings and to his appointments, and first and foremost, I heard her out, make sure it was a safe space because she was venting. Shout out to the person that's advocating for him too, man, because it ain't her job. She's just really just trying to help this guy from a whole state away. And so I'm on the phone, and I'm sharing this because I need y'all to know, like, I'm an executive director, but I'm a whole life community health worker still, okay? Don't ever get it twisted. I don't know how much longer it's going to be until I go 100% into consulting and just traveling and speaking and stuff like that. But for now, I'm super involved still in the boots on the ground work, just to be clear. That's why I like to go by the title Chief Change Agent instead of Executive Director, because I'm not your average Executive Director. And so anyway, we talking through. I say, does he have Medicaid? And then she says, well, he can't get Medicaid because he doesn't have kids and this, that, and the third. I say, if Medicaid got expanded in North Carolina, my sister, it did. And so I start educating her about that. I was like, do you know if they applied for this person to Medicaid while he was in jail? Of course not. And so this is one thing. So I was on a call with some state leaders yesterday, and I went on there and I said what I had to say about forensic peer supports. I said what I had to say about community health workers. I said what I had to say about having the proper training. But this is a tangible tactic right here, y'all. Like, this guy could have had his Medicaid application done while he was in that jail, in that rural jail. But you got to make sure that you have the investments made into community-based organizations that can do the work, that can show up, help out with navigating that to get the food stamp application in and the Medicaid application in. That's how we do it. Operation Gateway. They go apply for their food stamps and their Medicaid straight up. And so anyway, that hadn't happened. But the hospital is talking about turning them loose, and he's going to have to keep up with dialysis. But let's be real. Is this person going to be able to keep up with their dialysis and they're unhoused in a rural area? And so what I'm thinking is going to happen is I'm waiting to hear back from the person to see if she can convince the hospital case manager or whatever to apply for his Medicaid. We ain't for sure if they did that or not yet. We gonna see. But to be honest with you, y'all, sometimes especially in these rural areas, man, I don't know why, but maybe they don't have the staff that they need. But a lot of times, and it ain't even just rural areas. Sometimes people just don't go over and beyond. And that's why the community health worker workforce is the workforce we need for the world we want to see. And so the Medicaid hadn't got applied for in jail, so now he's in the hospital. And so here comes where the community health worker expertise comes in. So I'm having her to see if she can hurry up, get him to apply for Medicaid, because once he gets Medicaid, then we can refer him, we can get him connected with the Healthy Opportunities pilot. What we want to do is try to get him housed at at a motel or something for like a week. And it's a motel that's close to the place to get his dialysis in his rural area. And so we're going to get him in the motel, and so he can get to his dialysis. We are going to try to get him into a halfway house in the Asheville area, but we're going to have a heart-to-heart with him, because he has to understand, like, you can't be drinking and drugging while you're in a halfway house, so you're going to end up getting booted and you're going to be back on the streets. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, we try to get him in a motel. We want to get him applied for Medicaid, of course, try to get him to a food bank, connected to, see what organizations in this rural area is willing or has the capacity to be able to provide some level of peer support for him, even if it's just a check-in, like, hey, how you doing? What's for lunch? There are minimal amount of meetings in that rural area. And so that's what we want to do. Get him into the motel when he gets out of the hospital. Hopefully they can apply for his Medicaid. Hopefully he can get expedited. Then connect him with the Healthy Opportunities pilot, which has additional resources for housing and other social determinant health resources. If we get him to Asheville, Operation Gateway will definitely be serving this brother, and we're going to help him. We're going to help him. We're going to have him connected with a community health worker. That community health worker is going to make sure there's a transportation plan for him. We get him bus ticket books. We have public transit. And this is why when we talk about recovery-friendly environments, you got to have public transit and things like that, because this situation with this man right here, this man would not be able to make it in the rural area. He will die, okay? So when you hear us talking about people relocating from areas to more recovery-friendly areas, it's not to talk bad about the area that's not recovery-friendly. There are certain resources that are required for an area to be recovery friendly. You got to have public transit. You got to have halfway houses. You have to have a peer support workforce and community health workers available to be able to help with a person like this that's been in and out of the system, that has become a frequent flyer in a rural area. And now, they could just be writing them off. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but let's not act like that can't happen. But this person is trying to get help now, and we talking about right now. And he got somebody from a whole nother state advocating for him, and she called the right one. Y'all pray for me, because I'm for the people. I'm trying to tell you, I am. And it's all his fault. It's his fault. You see that name right there? That's whose fault it is. But yeah, just wanted to share this testimonial about what it's like as a community health worker, boots on the ground, especially doing regional leadership, because you get these referrals coming from other areas. When they hear your name, they see your website, they want to reach out. And this person right here, I had helped in the past with somebody else. This person is pretty amazing. They don't even live in North Carolina. And they got, I guess they still have like existing connections from the recovery community that they came from. And so they still are like the go-to sometimes to help somebody when they need help, and is such an advocate for the people, even though it ain't her job. So shout out to her. And with this situation, we'll see how it goes. The main thing I want to do, like I say, is get him housed. Look at Chaplain coming out to get me. It's time for me to go in here and speak. But the main thing I want to do is get him housed in a motel for a week. And while he's housed in a motel, hopefully we'll get this Medicaid and everything sorted out so he can get connections to the Healthy Opportunities pilot. And then we have a plan in place for his dialysis, have a plan in place for his Medicaid, food, housing at a recovery house. And if he's trying to be clean and sober, have start building social capital, recovery capital, and we'll see what he needs for his driver's license and whatever else he needs. And he'll have a community health worker in a recovery friendly environment that is ready to rock and roll and provide those boots on the ground services. Sometimes you have to relocate from the rural areas to get it together. You have to relocate from the less recovery friendly areas to get it together, and that's okay. the thing is we have to understand that not all areas are recovery friendly, and if you want to make it recovery friendly, you gotta build to get there, a little bit at a time. Shout out to areas like Wilkes, you know what I'm saying, who didn't have the resources. Devin and Jeff and them, they came and they started to build them, and now you see what I'm saying, they're even the recovery friendly NC leaders for the state. So it can be done. It can be done in rural areas, but you have to be honest about the community diagnosis. You know what I'm saying? And right now this person is in an area that is not recovery friendly, so we got to do what we got to do to get him some help. My name is Change Agent Cooper. I'm not the answer, but I'm for daggone sure the alternative. Bless up.